What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 222 of Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone, brought to you by Solozo. And today we're talking about getting ready for Prime Day. It's that time of year. It's coming up soon. There's a lot of things that we have to prepare for to get ready for that. And we have the perfect person on with us to talk about all that and probably a whole lot more. But Jennifer Ruskin is joining us. She's the owner of Growth Spurt Sales and Marketing. Welcome, Jennifer. How are you?
Welcome. I'm so happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
We are very excited to have you. We've been chatting for a little while before we went live, and you've got a ton of energy, so we know this is going to be a lot of fun. We love it when there's a lot of energy out there, and you're chilling outside right now. It must be gorgeous down there.
It is. It's 90 today, so it's a little bit hot. I'm a little glistening, but I'm so grateful. I'm in Arkansas, so we should say that first. For anyone listening or watching, I'm in Arkansas, and I'm sure you're like, why is this chick from Arkansas talking to me about Amazon? Well, my background is all Walmart. I spent my whole adult life working for mass retail and started with Walmart. So we can enter into that a little bit more if you want, but it's been very cold the last few days. And then it finally got hot. So I'm going to work out here forever, I think.
It's
I'm
nice.
So grateful.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. It's hotter than heck here today. We're in Kansas City and we're a little bit north of you, but it's been a long, drawn out, cold winter that just kind of kept going and going. So it's nice to have some warm weather now and to enjoy it. And I was just down in your neck of the woods. I took a little trip down to Arkansas this weekend. So it's a lot of fun. I love it down there. It's
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Yeah, I heard you went to Crystal Bridges and ate at some cool, funky places, hit some mountain bike trails with the kids.
Yeah, took a little day trip down to Bentonville, and it was a lot of fun. I'd never been there before and had to go see the Walmart Museum. It's cool to hear the story. But yeah, that transitions perfectly because we'd love to start with everyone who's listening who doesn't know you. We'd love to hear your background, how you got into what you're doing now, and what are you doing now? We'd love to hear all about that.
Yeah. And how can that help prepare you for Prime Day? So,
we'll get into that.
I think it's interesting. It is interesting to talk about my background because it's different than anyone else doing Amazon, right? My background's mass retail, so I think like a merchant. I think like mass retail, and a lot of the clients that come to us are looking at Amazon a couple different ways. Either they're looking at Amazon because they want to eventually be in a mass retailer or be in a retailer, or they're looking at Amazon as their saving grace to avoid mass retail. They don't want brick and mortar. They don't want slotting fees. They're looking for a new way. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today is how to get more D2C to your customer, but also to use that and leverage that for Amazon. So let's hop back to Walmart. So I live in Northwest Arkansas. You went to Bentonville. I'm in Fayetteville, which is the cool hip college town, 20 minutes south. We're a little looser around here than Bentonville, which is awesome. And I spent my whole adult life working with Walmart. So I've started at Walmart home office and did buying and replenishing, and then worked in this thing called merchandise execution, where the CEO would go like, as I look out at Walmart, here's this thing I really hate. Your team needs to go fix it. So I'd have to go fix the thing, and it was interesting. And I got my undergrad and my MBA all while working at Walmart and having babies. And one day I was 29 and I looked up from my blue cubicle Walmart cubicle, and I thought there has to be more to life than just this cubicle and just Walmart. Like, what if I worked at Target? Like, that's all I could see. It was like, what if I worked at Target, or like, what about Kroger? Like, maybe there's another retailer for me. And so I went out on LinkedIn, I spruced up everything, and I was like, okay, something's going to happen, and I'm going to leave this place. I'm going to figure out what that is. And I got a call from a supplier that had products inside of Walmart, and they were like, come work for us. I went and worked for them for a few years, left Walmart. And then I was like, what if I could sell bicycles? So this was a granola company, granola and cereal. And I was like, what if I could sell bicycles or camping equipment or celery, like anything but granola? I can't do granola anymore. I'm going to open up my own brokerage firm. So this, I promise, is leading to where we are today. So I created my own brokerage firm, worked for Walmart, was a broker for Walmart. And then a few years into this is where Amazon enters the scene. I realized I couldn't get buyers to return my calls anymore. They weren't returning my emails. They were so freaking obsessed with Amazon that when I did get a buyer meeting, the first question was, what are you doing on Amazon? How is it working? How does this whole Amazon, how do we get some of this stuff from Amazon here? And I was just like, okay, I got to figure out what is Amazon and how do I work with them? So I started looking at Amazon as this launch pad into brick and mortar, which we can have a whole nother conversation about. That's not today, but it really plays nicely to launching products online, to eventually putting them in brick and mortar if we want to. So today's conversation is about Prime Day. We're not going to talk about getting into brick and mortar, but that's my background.
That's awesome. And so, yeah, it is interesting. All the things you brought up are so true. I mean, there was a shift. I mean, especially during the pandemic when people were trying to, maybe they were selling direct to retail and, they realized now everyone's buying online, hope maybe temporarily or permanently on during the pandemic. And they had to figure out the whole Amazon landscape. And then you had people starting brands and it's difficult to get them on the shelves at a Walmart or any other big box retailer. But it's fairly easy to launch them on Amazon. So there's a lot of opportunity there. But so that I wanted to go into now your company, Growth Spurt Sales and Marketing. So what are you helping your clients with there? What is the scope of your business?
Great question. Well, just like the name, if you think about what a growth spurt is, and I used to have this cute little tree as a logo. It's not there anymore, but if you think about the growth spurt of a company, companies start small and they grow big, or they're medium size and they want to get bigger. So my company is all about taking small to mid-sized brands and really making them $1 million plus accounts. So we do that through Amazon work, through Walmart.com or in store. And then this year we've launched some D2C campaigns. So we're working with Shopify. We're helping our clients get on TikTok, which we're all still kind of like, what the heck? I don't even want to be on it, but it's important. We did an audit, just a side note on TikTok. We did an audit for our clients, every single client at the end of last year. And we audited TikTok and we said, here's how many times people are talking about your brand on TikTok. You don't even have a TikTok account. Did you know that you can do one-click purchasing with TikTok? We can build you, there's a whole thing here. You're losing money, And so anyway, we're coming back to our clients and we're saying, this is another kind of side note to Amazon. I love Amazon, but you don't own the shopper. We all know everything is moving D2C. And so we're creating all these different ways for our own clients to continue that shopper journey, but to bring them closer to home, right? I'm always like, bring them close to mama. You want to get them on an email list. You need to own their information. And so it's really difficult to do that on Amazon. And so anyway, that's why we're coming back and saying, okay, it's time to rethink what your go-to-market strategy is. It's time to rethink what your marketing strategy is and implement more D2C than you ever have before. So we're doing TikTok, we're doing photography work, we're doing email marketing campaigns. We're plugging in email marketing programs into their Shopify account. Things that none of my clients have, and none of them are like, I don't even understand this, but if you say that people are still opening emails and sometimes you can even see 40 and 50% open rates. And oh my gosh, this actually converts into a sale. And I can tell them about my new flavor XYZ. There's excitement again, right? Yeah. We're so tired of talking about pay per click and another hook and another way to maybe get some viewers on your stuff. So anyway, I feel like we're re-injecting excitement into selling these days.
I just downloaded the TikTok app literally last week for the first time. So I was like, maybe I should try to see what this is all about. Just to even see what was going on there. But you mentioned email list.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's one of the first things, or one of the things that people should be focusing on, especially now, or maybe even before now, for their Prime Day launch.
You guys, it's like you're reading my mind. And I didn't even give them a list of 5 different ways to get ready for Prime. This is number 1. So I kind of peppered in. I feel like I kind of set the stage for you to say that, but I didn't tell you to, but that's it. So the first thing that we want to think about in our customers' journey to finding us for Prime Day is to get our customers' information, right? To have a place to talk. So when we look at all the different ways to advertise for Prime Day, we have Prime Day deals, we have coupons, we have blah, 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 right? We don't normally think outside of Amazon, but when I've done comparison studies with clients that have done a Prime Day deal versus just shot a free email out to their own customer base to tell them that they had a sale going on Amazon, this customer with the email base blew everyone else out of the water because they'd already been communicating to their customer base. They'd already warmed them up. They told them that they loved them. They gave them a value add. They got a recipe, whatever, right? And so they had confidence already pre-built and expectation. So one side note I would say for Prime Day is if you're selling on Amazon, especially if you have a consumable product, show up for Prime Day. This is what the shopper does. I always like to think, this is, I think, because of my retail background, I always think like a shopper first, because that's what Walmart taught us to do. So the shopper walks to their pantry or looks around the house or looks at their kids' Christmas list. This is a great time to get your kids to go ahead and make your Christmas list, right? And you look at all these things and you say, what can I buy on sale during Prime Day? This is the time to grab all the things for Christmas, like get the PS4 controllers and get whatever big things are on the list. I don't even, like, my kids aren't little anymore, so maybe it's a mountain bike. I don't know, right? Hide it in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
So look around your house and figure out what are shoppers going to be looking for and purchasing, and it's what they have. It's what they're already buying. So it's my Nut Pods creamer. Like, I want the big mega 42, whatever the biggest count is that they have. I want that to be on sale. I'm counting on it. And on Prime Day, I'm going to go and see, can I get some really great deals from my favorite brands?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys agree? Tell me, how do you guys shop on Prime Day?
Totally agree. And I'm in that subscribe and save type of category.
Me
But
too.
as a shopper, I'm looking at like, what can I get? What have I bought in the past? Or what do I want now? And see what is on like a Prime Day exclusive. And what's the beauty about it is if it doesn't work, I can just return it, right? Like I can, so like if it doesn't work, it's good. But normally, Prime Day, it's a lot of browsing and figuring out what I want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin, what about you?
Oh, I agree. That's exactly how I shop on Prime Day, is just looking for all the things that I would be buying anyway, and or all the things that I want to buy, or birthdays that are coming up, or like you said, Christmas coming up. Just making a list and going through and finding all those things and seeing if there's a deal on them and buying them. But boy, would I respond to an email. If somebody shot me an email from a brand that I purchased from a lot and they let me know of a deal, that would essentially guarantee my purchase on Prime.
Perfect. Okay. So we've already talked about number 1 and number 2. So number 1 is email marketing works. Number 2 is Prime Day deals work. So let me stop for just a second and say, if you're a brand and you're listening to this, I mean, maybe you have some brands that follow you, I don't know, and you're thinking, no one cares about my product. Like maybe it's a food product. No one cares about apple juice on Prime Day. They might. I mean, you just heard from the 3 of us, and we're looking in our pantry. We're looking at what we normally have on Subscribe and Save. We're maybe looking for a mountain bike on Prime Day deal because we know our kid wants it. Just show up. There's a couple different ways to do that. So we have one pet treat client that has incredible Subscribe and Save numbers, incredible repurchase history, but we want to also maybe get some new acquisition for Prime Day. So we're doing a couple different strategies for them. We're doing a 10% off coupon and a 10% off Prime Day deal so that we can layer and stack if the customer's savvy enough to. Fantastic, right? Mm-hmm. If not, at least we're getting them in one way or we're getting them in another. So that's another thing to think about. Maybe your third option, Prime Day deals, and maybe stack a coupon even. And it doesn't have to be outrageous. But I want to go back to number 1, because email marketing, we didn't quite talk about logistically how to do that. So if you have a website, you need to make sure that you have Google Analytics plugged in, because you want to go back and see who lands on your site for this Prime Day week-long event. It's not really a day, it's days. Prime days, Prime week, right? You want to see what kind of customer demographic is landing on. Is it women? Is it men? How old are they? What are they into? And Google Analytics tells you all of that. So before you do anything to prepare, like right now, go figure out how to install your Google Analytics plugin, please. Like, this isn't even an Amazon thing. This is like a basic 101. You have a website, you need to have Google Analytics plugged in. And I'm always surprised at the number of people that don't have it. Like they just don't understand that it's important. So go do that. It's free. 2, you need an email capture form. So in order to email people, potential customers, current customers, you have to have an email capture form on your website. So figure out what that is. Is it some sort of a hook? Is it a recipe? Is it an offering? Is it a free coaching session with you? I mean, I don't know, whatever it is. Then the third step is go back and look and see who has purchased from you in the past and scrape that list. If you're currently using Shopify or Squarespace or whatever, and look at your payment processors. If you're on Etsy, go back and see who's purchased from you. All of those emails you get to use. So scrape them all out, put them in an email database. The next thing that you want to do is start to warm them up. You do not want your first email to be like, I have things for you to buy from me, right? You want to warm them up with a hello, here's who I am, intro email. Do not talk about things to sell. Like, I'm Jennifer and I don't own Nut Pods, but let's just use it for an example. Hey, I'm Jennifer. I'm the creator of Nut Pods. I created Nut Pods because I have a XYZ allergy, and it's really important to me to be able to give this out into the universe. Here's a cute picture of me and my kids. When you buy from me, I'm a woman-owned business, and it affects our family, and we are so grateful for you. Here's a value add. Here's a link to our website with recipes on how to use Nut Pods or how to make a fancy latte, right? And you send that out. And then maybe 4 emails later, then you mention, hey guys, Prime Days is coming up. We're going to have a super secret deal, and we want you to be a part of it. So stay tuned. Mark your calendars for blah, 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 right? And start to kind of pepper that in. What do you guys
think? When that day hits, blast them.
That's right. So lead up into it, then start to let them know what the discount's going to be, right? And then that day, don't be afraid to remind them. I love it. It's not just a day, I should say, that week, the days, whatever it is that you plan that you're going to promote the heck out of. Don't be afraid throughout the day to remind them. Like if it's a 2 or 3 day event, maybe the first day is, hey guys, it's 8 a.m. We just want to let you know our deal went live. The next day is like, hey, just want to let you know you only have 24 hours left. And then you can kind of work in, even towards the end of the last day, you only have 2 hours left, last hour, and then be done. You don't want to be too obnoxious where people start unsubscribing. One other side note, this is like the first year people have gotten really woke with email marketing. And I've been noticing emails like, if you want to opt out of Mother's Day emails, here's how to do that. If you want to opt out of, I just got one today. If you want to opt out of Father's Day emails, just click here. We're really becoming like gentle humans, and I love that. So maybe you have an email sequence that they can opt out of Prime Day emails if that's not their jam. Maybe the majority of your content is usually something totally different other than Amazon, and this is going to turn a lot of people off. Think about maybe a way for them to opt out, and then the rest that stay. Fantastic. You're going to have a much higher conversion rate than leaving them in.
Interesting. I mean, I know just from my own experience of getting emails that, I'm on so many lists. I feel like, my inbox is loaded, but there's a few places where if I get an email from them, I always open it up just because of their engagement. Their engagement is attractive to me, and I'm reading it. I want to see more. And then they hit you with an offer like every once in a while, but it's a value add. And I think that's a lot of people who are listening could go, if they have email sequences out there, if they have an email list, they could go revisit their strategy of how they're doing it. Cause it needs to be a lot of give, and then kind of throw the offer out to make it. I like that. That's a really good idea.
May I ask you a question for those listening that are starting to try to think about, well, what kind of emails would I send? Dustin, what kind of emails keep you engaged with the company and you allow them to continue to have access to your inbox? What is it about it that makes you keep them around?
That's a good question. If you're talking about brands, I'm also on a lot of like course emails and all the other stuff that you get from like Advertise. And so a lot of those are good because it's a lot of free tips, a lot of free advice, and then they're every once in a while presenting their offer. But I think good brands do a similar thing. I know that there's some fitness brands that are putting out a lot of, workout tips, workout routines, videos, training videos. Those things are always engaging. You want to see, like, what's the new, what's this new workout routine I could incorporate into, and then every once in a while you get hit with, the product that makes that routine possible or anything. But I think any food with like recipes, those are really good. Because I always send those.
Save them. Send it to the wife.
I'm like, this sounds kind of good. You want to try?
I'm on a couple like supplement, workout supplement email list, and the thing that keeps me more engaged is they share workouts, like Dustin mentioned, like here's how you can work out, or like better workout plan, or here's a new way to use whatever the tool it is. But then they'll throw in there like, oh, by the way, we're launching a new flavor. Check out this new flavor exclusively just for our email list. You can get this before it's even live on our site. Here's a special link. It's going to be 25% off, but if you miss it, you're going to be done with it. And so at first I kind of call their bluff. Like, is it really going to be 25% off? And if I don't get it, am I not? And it's true. Like, if you don't take an action, that is now, you can't get that discount code. So I've learned, they've conditioned me to where if they do launch a new flavor or item, I only have a certain amount of time to act on it before it does go live to everybody else. And it's full retail. I got to get it early at a discount before even it's available. So, that kind of stuff keeps me involved. And then another one I got is Nespresso, the coffee ones. So they do a lot of like, new flavors, free shipping, exclusive flavor coming soon. So that kind of stuff I kind of keep engaged with. But the content is also a few things. So if it there's like a few I just got rid of. I just can't stand because it's constantly the same message over and over again. But if they spice it up a little bit and keep you engaged, and the tone of the email I like too. Like, is it going to be too serious, or is it playful, or is it like they have a joking tone to it? I don't know. Those kind of things you can kind of keep in your email box. Anybody else, I don't really keep them in there.
I love everything that you just said, and I feel like we could spend the entire podcast just on excellent email marketing, because I want to riff on that so badly, but I'm not going to. So you guys just heard a bunch of different ideas of how to make your emails super spicy and fun, keep engagement, and then keep them engaged up until Prime Day. And of course, afterwards, you want to love on them and continue the follow-up. Email marketing is a business foundational step, just like Google Analytics these days. So if you haven't done it, start. We're going to move on, because if not, we're just going to talk about email marketing, even though I'm really jazzed about it. So I
think you mentioned about the listing at some point, like talking about listings. Like some people are like really hesitant to do this because they don't want to change anything. But do you do?
Yeah, I was talking about storefronts. So let's move on. We're going to bring together email marketing into storefronts. So Chris, what you really like about email marketing is the tone and the vibe and the excellent advice. Like, you're attracted to that, right? Which is very intentional. That brand wants to attract someone just like you, right? So when you leave Amazon, so let's pretend like we're getting email marketing, we're a shopper, we're getting email marketing, and we're feeling the vibe of this particular company. We love them so much that now we're on their social media and we're following them on Instagram and we're following them on Facebook, TikTok, whatever, right? And I'm feeling consistency in that same vibe, the same tone, the same kind of like light humor, the same images. Okay. Then I go to Amazon and everything kind of falls apart. I'm like, what is this? Are these the same people? Can I trust it? Oh, is it a third party? I'm not really sure. Okay. So what I want you to do is build consistency in your messaging across all those different platforms. And a great way to do that is with Prime Day. Okay. So I like for our clients to update their storefront, either the banner on the storefront, or this is even easier, just create another sub tab on your storefront and call it Prime Day deals or something like that. And then have that banner be something Prime Day related, like whether or not you use Amazon graphics or your own graphics that says Prime Day deals, and then take that same exact banner that you've created and just change the sizing so that you're using the same messaging in your email marketing with the same banner, the same thing in your social media. Maybe your website even has a blog and you put a blog on there. It's all consistent. We want the customer to feel like, even when I leave a platform, there they are with their consistency. Oh, I can trust this brand. I've seen this image on Facebook, right? So create consistency in your messaging. This just goes with your overall strategy. How are we going to communicate about Prime Day? What kind of deals and offers are we going to offer? How are we going to show up visually to them? And then just create consistency. So yes, as you talk about updating, Chris, I wouldn't update your listing for Prime Day, but I would definitely go into your storefront and at least create a tab, if not on the very front banner of your storefront, create something for Prime Day specifically.
And you're putting that link in all your email marketing. Are you doing anything? I don't know what your opinion would be. Are you doing anything on the site, like your Shopify site? Like, hey, check out our Prime Day deals. Visit this page.
Absolutely. You totally could. And the great thing is all these things are so simple. When you just add a new tab, you just pull it down when it's over, or you convert it to the next season. Maybe after Prime Day, it's like summer deals. And you take all your old inventory that you need to get out before the fall and you put it in that specific section. And then you can carry that from Shopify, same thing, recreate it over into your storefront on Amazon.
Love it.
I like it. These are great tactics. It's every time we have somebody on who's got passion, it's like reinventing. Like my to-do list over here, is like growing. It's like, okay, I got to do this and this and this and this to get ready. But it is fun, and I really like what you talked about, consistency. I think that's overlooked a lot. Is the consistency of messaging and look and colors and everything. Where if that gets disjointed, it really does disrupt the customer's journey. Cause some confusion. Is this the same brand? Is this the same product? What are we looking at? And that takes work to make sure that everything is consistent across the board, for sure. Which is why people need help. Which is why they need services. Right?
Well, the number one question I get is like, how do I make more money? Why am I not making more money on Amazon? And I'm like, well, are you even trying? So Chris, you did mention updating listings. So one other side thing I would say is it's spring, right? So look at all of your Amazon listings, look at the A+ content, look at your storefront and do some spring cleaning. Spruce them up.
Yes.
If you're already doing our tactic where you are making things seasonally relevant on your website, make sure you don't have a Christmas picture on there. Like make sure that the images within your listing are seasonally appropriate. If everyone's wearing sweaters and they have mittens and gloves because you sell coffee or tea, update that now. Like put some iced tea recipes in your storefront because you want to look your best. You want to be game day ready. Amazon, this is game day for Amazon. This is Amazon's Christmas, right? I mean, it may be the summer, but this is it.
Well, this is also a great opportunity for brands to acquire customers. Get people to try your product, learn your brand messaging, learn your tone. You may have, I love going through, sometimes I'll go through my orders and I'll see like, oh my gosh, this guy's been buying from me for 3 years, like over and over and over again. As an owner, like you don't know that because Amazon kind of keeps that hidden, right? You got to kind of look for it. But like this guy's always getting the same thing every month for 3 years. It's kind of like, well, how did he get here? How did he find me first? And let's just duplicate that and put some gas on it. And let's go.
Yes, I love that.
So we've covered, we've got emails. So your email list, warming them up, and then hitting them with the offer as Prime Day approaches. We've got the deals and coupons created for Prime Day. We've got storefront tab, a refresh of your storefront to match all the Prime Day marketing. What else do we need to do?
That's all I can think of right now, unless you guys can think of anything else you want me to cover.
No, those are good.
The one thing that did pop in my head, because a lot of my clients will ask this, is like, do I have to make everything on sale? Or like, what do I put on sale? Like, what's my strategy? And I would say it all depends. If you have one item that is about to code date and you have a million of them, Hopefully you don't actually have 1 million in Amazon because your long-term storage fees will be really high, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a gazillion items, maybe that's the one you lean really heavily into. I have a line that's an apothecary line, and she's a midwife. So she makes a lot of things for breastfeeding mothers, very specific subgroup of women, right? Or women that have just given birth. Okay, that's a very small population of the entire United States. So last week I challenged her, and she wanted to put these items on Prime Day deals. And I'm like, that's fantastic. But 99% of your shoppers are not going to be looking for this very specific thing. Do you have a vitamin? Do you have immune boost? Do you have something that's going to be highly consumable where every month this person's going to come back because they love your product? That's the thing you want to put on. Chris, to your point, this is an amazing time for acquisition. Think strategically for that. What kind of an item can I hook them in? This is not a time also to be overly concerned about profit. This is marketing. This is your marketing tactic. This could be your biggest marketing tactic for the entire year. You want to hook them in. And if you have a good enough product, they're going to stay with you, right? So also make sure your items are on subscribe and save, and you're doing all that, and you're giving the coupon, right? The percentage off. So don't be greedy, right? Now, don't participate if your items are not profitable. You have no business participating. That doesn't make sense. But if they already are profitable, you have some margin you can play. Be looking at this as a major customer acquisition moment.
Absolutely. I mean, that's another thing that I think gets lost in the mix for a lot of people selling, is that this is an opportunity. I mean, breaking even, okay, it's fine. You've just acquired so many customers right now that it's going to pay off long term. Other things that happen, I mean, if your sales velocity is through the roof on Prime Day, you get that nice organic boost to your listing. It can stick for a long time. You can use other tactics to kind of keep that rolling after a Prime Day event where, I mean, if you're one of the few in your category or in your niche that are offering these deals, you're going to get all the sales during that period. It's going to be a huge sales velocity boost. And then obviously on Amazon, that has a huge impact on future sales for you. So yeah, it's something that people really want to take serious and to implement all the tactics they can to get the best possible out of this day. It's a great event. Amazon promotes it like crazy. It's, once as Prime Day comes, it's like every other commercial you see on TV is advertising Prime Day. I mean, people get excited about it. They're prepping for it, and you definitely want to be there. I mean, I feel like that's why you mentioned Amazon being a great place to launch a brand, to launch a product. It is. It's one of the best. I've told this story before. As people are listening, we're going to hear the same thing. But when I started selling a long time ago, back in 2014, and nobody in my family or friends knew when I said, I sell on Amazon, they're like, what are you talking about? How do you sell on Amazon? And I was like, no, it's crazy. I'm launching a brand. And they're like, oh, whatever. I'm like, it's like if I could take my product and walk into Walmart and stick it in the middle of a shelf, and I can do that on Amazon. I'd launch it and I put a little advertising behind it. It's right there. It's right next to Nike. It's right next to Adidas. It's like I'm right there on the shelf. This is a sort of a same type of opportunity. Prime Day is it's such a big event that you can get so much more awareness to your brand and your product during it if you take the right tactics. It's fun. It's exciting. It makes it a lot of fun.
Do we know when Prime Day is yet, Jennifer? Have we heard any idea?
I knew you were going to say that, and I was just looking it up on my computer because we just gave it to our clients.
It's in July, but I don't know if they've announced the dates yet. If they have, we'll be learning it. There's speculation.
It's so funny. There's so many people that always want to be the first to report it. Like, oh no, it's so many speculation.
I'm seeing 18th through 19th, so mid-July. Yep. You have until the end of this month to get all your inventory in for Prime Days. So those are the two big, most important deadlines that you need to know right now. And then stay tuned, because Amazon is always changing Prime Days. Like, we all think we have it locked and loaded, and then it's like, oh, we're going to wait 2 more months. I think a lot of it depends on how much inventory they can receive, how much they can kind of stage, and then how prepared they actually are. I mean, we saw a year or 2 ago, they just kept moving it till it was like October.
Right.
So, but for right now, mid-July.
Yep.
Plan on it.
It's going to be fun. Well, this is exciting. What great
Yeah.
tips for everybody. Plus, I mean, how can anybody listen to this or watch this and not see that you totally love it? You you are doing what you love for sure. And I know people are now, they're like, okay, I'm in this. Maybe they're a small team or they're a one-person brand or whatever. And they're like, they're wearing a million hats and they need
Mm.
support and resources. How do they contact you to start working with you?
Oh, look at you putting my website on there. I love that. Thanks, guys. So look down at the banner. My website's right there. I have multiple contact me forms. You guys, I'm on every single social channel. Jennifer Kayla Ruskin, feel free to DM me. But the next steps would really just be reach out to me. We'll do a potential client call and see if we're a good fit. But we'd love to help you with your Amazon business. We have, not lots of time before Prime Day, but we have enough time to install the Google Analytics to help you with your Shopify account, to make sure that you have email marketing and you have some kind of a hey, put your email address in here, right, form. And time to spruce up those listings and even create a storefront. I was on a call with a potential client yesterday, and he had gorgeous A+ content, gorgeous listings, and no storefront. And I was like, why do you not have a storefront? He was like, I don't know. I didn't know I needed one. So if you're missing something and you need a little bit of help, we would absolutely love to get you ready. And so you can win big this Friday.
Well, we definitely encourage everyone to do that. If they're looking for this, if they need some extra resources and help, reach out to Jennifer. We'll put the website and everything in the notes and in the description so people can have it and reach out to you. And we are definitely getting you back on. There are about 100
post Prime Day.
We could go down on I feel like there's so many topics we could cover and go through things. But we love hearing your valuable insights and your passion for sure. So everyone go check Jennifer out and go to her website. We'll have that all in the description for you. Thanks so much for joining us, Jennifer. This has been fun.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
We loved it. And thanks everybody for tuning in. If you like content like this, make sure you're subscribing to our podcast. We're on every podcast platform out there. Find us on your favorite and subscribe to it. You can also see the live streams on Solozo's social media channels. So Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, go there. You'll see all the recorded live streams. You can watch all of our past episodes and gain more and more insights with great people like Jennifer. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Jennifer, for joining us. We will see everybody next time.